All right, shalom, shalom. All right, before I get started, I want to give all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Quadash. All right, double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone. And shalom, Wakasah, Lahabak Yar, which means peace and mercy to the elect throughout the four corners, wherever you may be. All right, I'm the brother Amar from the branch of GMS Cleveland. Come back at you with another video. Lord, will this be edifying to whomever may be watching. And I'm going to get some history. It's going to kind of just be like a little quick history overview. And this is something to think about and consider if you never looked this information up, or if it's your first time hearing it. This is some information to consider when you read in the book of Philippians. All right. So I'm just going to read through this. I said this from BibleHub.com. They usually have pretty good information regarding scriptures. All right, but anyway, it says Philippians. It says overview. It says summary. It says Philippians is a letter from the Apostle Paul to the church in Philippi, emphasizing joy and unity in Mashiach. It says Paul encourages believers to live humbly and to rejoice. It says even in sufferings. He expresses gratitude for their support, urges them to stand firm in Mashiach, and highlights the importance of prayer and righteous living. And as you know, like I said, if you didn't know some of this information, or maybe you did, like I said, it's still refreshing to either get reminded or to especially come across new information. Like some of the stuff is new to me. You know, like I know when you read towards the end of the fourth chapter in Philippians, it said it was written from Rome. But I didn't know Paul was in prison while he wrote this. Or at least I don't remember. I would say it like that. Because shit, sometimes brothers forget certain things, and like I said, sometimes the Lord reveals certain things unto you just by studying. But anyway, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It's just something to, keep in mind. Like I said, when, put yourself in his shoes, so to speak. You got to envision, what I'm saying, when, he was writing this, while he was in prison in Rome, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things were going on and happening, during that time. But you can only imagine being locked up and, still thinking about certain things, like still thinking about, obviously the Lord, thinking about brothers, believers, while he's just in there, you know what I'm saying? Had a lot of time, a lot of, contemplating what's going on. I'm pretty sure a lot of prayer was going on. But it says, title and author. The letter to the Philippians is attributed to the Apostle Paul. The recipients were members of the Christian community in Philippi. It says historical context. It says Philippians was written around A.D. 60 to 62. It says during Paul's first imprisonment in Rome. Philippi was a Roman colony in Macedonia known for its strategic location and Roman citizenship privileges. It says the church in Philippi was the first European church founded by Paul, as mentioned in Acts 16. It's good information. It says audience and purpose. Paul's letters to the Philippian church, a diverse group including Lydia and Jailer's family. And the Jailer's family was directed to believers and leaders. It says he expressed gratitude for their support, encouraged faith, addressed unity and humility, updated them on his situation, and warned against false teachings. And this is something that we have to do even to this very day. All right, we have to continue to, encourage the believers, you know what I'm saying, about, keeping the faith, even ourselves, you know what I'm saying, encourage, the believers to keep humility, unity, and also warn them against the false prophets that are out here. All right, because you have some, like Paul said, matter of fact, I'll get a little bit of that. Just get this real quick. You have some people out here that don't really give a damn about the Lord. They don't really care about, what's really written in the scriptures. They're really just out for their own, sakes, their own belly. All right, which one was that at, man? You know what I'm saying? Somebody tried to get all that, but it talks about something for their own belly. I know it's in Philippians. I think it's this chapter or the next chapter, but I just want to put belly. I might have just overlooked it. Oh, that was the third chapter. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna get that too. Start this off in Philippians 1 and it says verse 14. It says, and many of the brethren in the Lord waxing confident by my bonds are much more bold to speak the word without fear. All right, because they were emboldened, all right, or strengthening by Paul's persecution and his imprisonment. All right, like I said, you see someone that you love and care about, like really, you know, riding hard for what they believe in. They suffering certain things, whether it's false accusations, um, actual beatings, and just getting locked up. This and the third, it make you even go harder for the truth, because you see that individual is willing to actually take actual punishment and potentially be a martyr for what they believe in. And that makes the believers that were probably wavering or didn't have as much faith as that individual. It makes them even more bold and more courageous. All right, that's the whole point of martyrs. All right, and that's the whole point of the Lord having certain things happen to certain individuals so it can strengthen, the other believers. All right, that were lacking. Anyway, it says, verse 15, some indeed preach Mashiach even of envy and strife, and some also of good will. It says, the one preach Mashiach of contention and not sincerity. It says, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. And see, these are the false prophets that Apostle Paul, spoke about, man. All right, about, individuals that was, you know, uh, teaching false doctrine. All right, bringing in damnable heresy, so forth and so on. Look, man, we are 100. We are sure about the teachings that our apostles and elders as taught us. All right, that's why scriptures talk about that, man. All right, continue in the things that thou hast learned and are assured of. Roughly paraphrasing it. All right, and you have to, you have to be, like I said, 144% sure about the teachings, man, that you learned. All right, and at the same time too, especially when you first coming in, you question some things, man. You be like the Church of Berea, man. You study, about the things the information that's presented to you, and once you've been made fully persuaded based off the scriptures, you know what I'm saying. You lay it all out there. But going back to the point, Paul was talking about the false prophets. All right, and it's a lot of individuals out here that are not really down for the Lord, man. It says, verse 17, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel, says, what then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Mashiach is preached. It says, and I therein do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice. All right, you know what I'm saying? So, obviously, you still be like, okay, at least the truth is being pushed out there in some way, even though it might not be 100% truth. Like, there's groups out there that will teach you about the 12 tribes of Israel. There's even groups out there that teach you about the names, but they might be going off on other things. So you still kind of, at the same time, you still kind of like, okay, at least they teaching Israel, but nah, man, you still got to be 100% about this thing. So let me just get this scripture and I'm going to go back to the information I was bringing out. Okay, we're talking about that one belly here. Philippians 3 and 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often and now tell you, even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. All right, so that's the thing, man. That a lot of these people, individuals of our nation that came across this truth, that figured out a way that they can actually make money off this. They're minding earthly things. They're about this world. They really care more about this world than they do the actual truth, and they do about teaching the word and truth and sincerity. All right, and not adding or taking away from it. They rather indulge into this world and what it has to offer, um, and just pretty much mishandle the word of the Lord, man. But anyway, them niggas gonna get what's coming to them, man. We just gotta continue on the straight and narrow. But anyway, let me get back to the point because I don't want to stray. Let me get back to what I was teaching. Talking about, because I don't want to stray too far away from it. All right. So It says genre and style. Philippians is an epistle, which epistle means letter. It says characterized by its personal and pastoral tone. It combines theological teachings with practical exhortation. Let's see. I mean, I think that was pretty much the points I wanted to bring out. Give you some key individuals that was spoke about in this particular chapter. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is to bring this out. Sure. Let's see. Oh, this is another good thing right here. So when it says Caesar's household, this is something that I didn't know. This is Philippians 4:22. It says this refers to the members of the imperial household in Rome. In Philippians 4:22, Paul sends greetings from those of Caesar's household. All right. Again, it says Paul sends greetings from those of Caesar's households, indicating that the gospel had reached even into the emperor's residence. This highlights the spread of Christianity. It says within influential circles in Rome. So that was some good information as well. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. As I said, I thought that was some pretty good information that came out. Ain't nothing too deep, but it's always good to read like the background about some of the stuff regarding the scriptures, whether that's some history or what was going on in that time period, this and the third. So I pray this edifying. With that, I'll give all praise and glory and honor unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kudash. All right, double honor to our apostle, Israel Millstone. And like I said before, this is just something to consider when you're reading this book about, like I said, the time frame, what was happening, and Apostle Paul actually being in jail while this book was written. So with that, I'm saying shalom.